Well, at least with my life.
If you go to Cambridge, I mean, there's a lot of other things.
I'll go there next.
From Lake and Heath.
Yeah. No, but it's like nice.
You can kind of tell who.
Ladies and gentlemen, please proceed to your seats at this time and continue enjoying the music from the RA of Whitten Voluntary Band. Scholar!
On.
Order. On. About. Right. 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 Over. Mark. Chaplain Moore, could you please give the invitation?
A reading from Psalm 91. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in Him will I trust. Please join me in prayer. God of all nations, today we have gathered on this hallowed ground to remember and give thanks for the full measure of devotion, honor, and courage rendered by all those who have answered their nation's call to military service, for those who have laid down their lives for others, for those who have borne suffering of mind or of body, for those who have brought their best gifts for our nation's service. We give you thanks. Help us, dear Lord, to honor their sacrifice in the way we live our lives. As they have thrown the torch of liberty from failing hands, may you strengthen us, O Lord, to take up their cause, catching the flame of freedom and holding it high, and always remembering, as Winston Churchill so eloquently said, that never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few. We ask today that you would lift up by your Spirit every airman, soldier, sailor, and marine who are now at war, encourage and heal those in hospitals, guard those in harm's way, and hold safely in your hands their families during these difficult days. Give to us grateful hearts and a united will to honor these men and women and hold them always in our love and our prayers. Finally, we thank you for each life we now remember and the promise of a greater life to come. For as we have been assured, neither death nor life nor angels nor principalities nor powers nor things present nor things to come, nor height nor depth could ever separate us from the love of God. May you bless the souls of the departed, may you comfort our own, and may you always guide our great country. It's for the glory of thy name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Moore. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time it is my distinct honor to introduce the official party for today's ceremony. Her Majesty's Deputy Lieutenant of Cambridgeshire, Ms. Julie Spence, and her husband, John. Assistant Chief of Staff Operations, 2nd Group, and Air Officer Commanding Directly Administered Units, Headquarters Air Command, Air Commodore Steve Shell. Commander, 501st Combat Support Wing, Colonel Angela Cadwell. Overseas Director, American Battle Monuments Commission, Mr. Frank Mannies. I would also like to take this opportunity to welcome veterans, commanders, chiefs, civic leaders, and all of our other distinguished guests. Finally, I would like to take a moment to thank the American Battle Monuments Commission and the staff at Mattingly here, led by Superintendent Bruce Phelps, for their support and year-round maintenance of this great venue. Today we recognize Veterans Day. It is a day when we stand and acknowledge the contributions made by all veterans who have so proudly served in the armed forces. Our nations have survived many battles fought bravely by our men and women in uniform. Today, it is these men and women, both past and present, that we remember and honor. On 11 November, at the 11th hour, the fighting of World War I ceased in 1918. In the United States, beginning in 1926, November 11th was known as Armistice Day, and was set aside to remember the war to end all wars. However, World War II and the Korean War led Congress to pass a bill redesignating November 11th as Veterans Day, and in 1954, President Eisenhower signed the bill making Veterans Day an occasion to honor those who have served America in all wars. Today, we remember all those who have made the ultimate sacrifice for freedom in all conflicts. At this time, I would like to introduce the Commander of 501st Combat Support Wing, Colonel Angela Cadwell, for her welcoming remarks.
Commanders, chiefs, civic leaders, other distinguished guests, and attendees, especially any veterans here today, it is my honor to welcome you to this Veterans Day ceremony. Today we gather to remember and honor all veterans. Taking time once a year to honor these heroes and show our appreciation for their sacrifice is the least we can do. Thank you all for joining us today. Lieutenant General Jones sends his regrets. His aircraft was delayed by weather in Germany. Will be joining us as soon as he's able. Today on this Veterans Day, we gather to honor the men and women who have worn and continue to wear our nation's uniform, and more importantly, we join to thank them for their service, sacrifice, and devotion to duty. Whether serving in time of war or peace, our military forces have shared a common driving belief, the cause of freedom. On this day, in this month, at this hour, we remember the moment when the guns of World War I fell silent on the muddy battlefields of Europe. President Woodrow Wilson called World War I the war to end all wars. Sadly, this label was not to hold true, as we were destined to enter another great war, World War II. Our servicemen and women once again answered the call to defend the tenets of freedom and liberty. They did not enter this battle alone. They joined many others who were already engaged in defending the cause of freedom. Men and women from across the globe took up this cause, and none more determinedly than the British. Arriving in the United Kingdom in 1942, the 8th Air Force and 9th Air Force would be vanguards of American actions in Europe. The members of the 8th Air Force would lead the strategic bombing and escort duties of the American war effort, while the 9th Air Force led efforts to support the landings in Normandy. Nearly 4,000 airmen would lose their lives in support of these endeavors and remain forever enshrined in the solid ground. In recognition of their sacrifice, the British people donated this land to serve as a permanent American military cemetery. Mattingly is a place where it is impossible to not be moved by the sacrifices these warriors made to embark from home. Every memorial here has a story which echoes the battles fought and is testament to an era that would become known, rightfully, as that of the greatest generation. Yet the story of our veterans continues. Today we give thanks to the over 20 million men and women that have served in uniform throughout the years. These men and women came from varied backgrounds to serve our nation. Their example of service and sacrifice has contributed to the character and greatness of our shared belief in freedom. Yet again, the story of our veterans does not stop here. Today we have a new generation of dedicated individuals that have answered the call to service. As with World War II, this generation of military service members is once again made up of many friends, allies, and partners who share the cause of freedom. This is no more evident than in our actions in Southwest Asia, where our forces came together as an international coalition to confront the forces of tyranny that once enslaved these nations. The efforts of our combined coalition forces have not only been about engaging the enemy, but they have also helped to bring democracy and development to these nations. These efforts have helped build roads, schools, and hospitals. The men and women who bear our nation's uniform represent the best of our values. In an era when it is easy to act out of self-interest, our uniformed members have chosen the opposite. They have chosen to serve and advance the cause of freedom and peace, which often places them in harm's way. They accept this risk willingly, knowing that may one day make the ultimate sacrifice. In a world where we are still threatened by conflict, it is fitting that we meet in a quiet place such as Mattingly, not only to remember the sacrifice of those who died, but to also commemorate the peace and freedom they fought for and honor those who continue to do it. Rather than mark this day as a commemoration of great military victory, we mark it as a celebration of selfless sacrifice. In the end, the legacy of our armed forces is a proud and honorable. No matter where they have been called to serve, they have served exceptionally in the cause of freedom. To all those who have served and are serving, we say thank you. Thank you for your sacrifices, your sense of duty, and your service. Our nation salutes you on this day.
Thank you, Colonel Chadwell. It is now my pleasure to introduce our UK guest speaker, Air Commodore Steve Shell.
Veterans, distinguished visitors, ladies and gentlemen. It is an honour for me to speak today on behalf of the Royal Air Force at this Veterans Day service, where we mark our respect for those servicemen and women who are prepared to take up arms in defence of their country, or to protect those weaker than themselves from the threat of terror. Walking through the grounds of this magnificent cemetery, amongst the 3,812 headstones, is a moving experience. And when considering that this is a mere fraction of the British Commonwealth and American personnel who are buried across the world, it brings home the human cost of our shared willingness to commit our military forces to the canvas. So we stand here today to show our mutual respect for the veterans of the UK and the US is both fitting and appropriate, given the long-standing and enduring nature of the partnership with our country. The tradition of giving thanks to veterans is not something we have adopted in the UK. We need Remembrance Weekend to commemorate our fallen, and in recent years we have shown our support for current serving personnel on armed forces day. So the opportunity to be able to stand here and thank all veterans, both British and American, especially those represented here today, is a welcome one, because the fact remains that we have constantly needed the dedication and professionalism of our forces, evidenced by the sobering fact that every year since World War II, a British or American serviceman has died our country. When I reflect on my own service career, I can say with considerable pride that I have had the privilege of working closely with American servicemen on operations for the last 20 years, in theatres from the Balkans to the Middle East, and had personal experience of the bravery, sacrifice and dedication that both our military personnel have demonstrated. It is only right, therefore, that we take time to reflect and pay our respects to them. The respect and confidence our military forces have in each other continues to provide mutual benefits today on operations together in Afghanistan, where tomorrow's veterans serve with distinction. That they do so is in part a reflection of the legacy left to them by the previous generation of servicemen and women who we give our grateful thanks today.
Thank you, Air Commodore Shell. Ladies and gentlemen, behind you rest the bodies of 3,812 American servicemen, servicewomen, and civilians who made that ultimate sacrifice. The names of 24 of these are known but to God. The wall to your front contains the names of 5,127 servicemen and women who never returned home and whose fate may never be known. Amongst you today are living veterans of many of the conflicts since World War II. It is for these individuals, the living and the dead, that we gather here today to honor and offer our appreciation to the unbroken line of men and women who gave service to their country. President John F. Kennedy said the following during his Veterans Day address in 1961. We celebrate this Veterans Day for a very few minutes, a few seconds of silence, and then this country's lives go on. But I think it is most appropriate that we recall on this occasion, and on every other moment when we are faced with great responsibilities, the contribution and the sacrifice which so many men, women, and their families have made in order to permit this country to now occupy its present position of responsibility and freedom, and in order to permit us to gather here together. At this time, I ask Airman First Class Leeds to come forward and recite the poem in Flanders Field.
Flanders fields and poppies blow, between the crosses, row on row. Then mark our place, and in the sky the larks, still bravely singing, fly scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. No short days ago we lived. We felt dawn, saw sunsets glow, loved, and were loved. And now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. With veiled hands we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. If ye brave faith with us who died, we shall not sleep. So poppies grow in Flanders.
Detail! Attack! Home! Forward! Forward! Your left! Your left! Your left! Pick it up! Your left! Your left! Your left! Your left! Right! Right! Your left! Your left! Your left! Pick it up! Your left! Your left! Right! Your left! Your left! On the outstep! Forward! Left! Your left! Your left! Right! Right! Your left! Your left! Your left! Right! Right! Your left! Your left! Your left! Your left! 1, 2, 3, 4. Your left! Your left! Your left! Pick it up! Your left! Your left! Right! Right! Your left! On your left! Your left! On your left! Your left! 1. Mark time! Move! Detail! Halt! Test power! Peace! By our very presence here today, we honor the memories of these fallen heroes. To further the intent of today's ceremony and leave a more lasting tribute, many in attendance wish to present memorial wreaths in honor of the heroes laid to rest here. At this time, we invite Mrs. Spence, Air Commodore Shell, Colonel Cadwell, Mr. Mannes, all distinguished visitors and guests presenting wreaths, to please take your place in front of your wreath. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the laying of the wreaths. Presenters, please take your wreaths. Mrs. Spence, please lay your wreath on behalf of Her Majesty's Lord Lieutenant of Cambridgeshire. Colonel Cadwell, please lay your wreath on behalf of the United States Air Forces in Europe and Air Forces Africa and the men and women of the 501st Combat Support Wing. Air Commodore Shell, please lay your wreath on behalf of the Royal Air Force. Mr. Manning, please lay your wreath on behalf of the American Battle Monuments Commission. At this time, I ask the Deputy Chief of Staff Operations, Headquarters North Atlantic Treaty Organization, Allied Rapid Reaction Corps, Brigadier General, United States Army, Richard Kaiser, and Commander, Submarines North Atlantic Treaty Organization, Northwood, United Kingdom, Rear Admiral Robert Kaminsky, to lead the remainder of the distinguished guests in presenting their wreaths. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please return to your seats and remain standing for the firing of volleys and playing of taps. As a reminder, during the playing of taps, it is appropriate for military members in uniform to render a salute on the first note and lower your salute on the final note. For our U.S. guests in civilian attire, it is appropriate to remove your headgear and place your right hand over your heart. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes this year's Veterans Day ceremony.